Last week, many people across Australia watched as Venus passed in front of the Sun. It's an event that won't happen again for more than 100 years. But hundreds of years before last week, another set of very important eyes was watching the same event, and it led to a significant moment in Australia's history.
Something tiny is coming in down the bottom. Yeah.
It was an event that captured the interest and imagination of thousands of people, young and old. The chance to witness the rare moment when Venus crosses between the Earth and the Sun. For us, it's just an interesting sight. But back nearly 250 years ago, it was an opportunity. The year was 1768, and Captain James Cook was just setting sail from England on a special mission. His job was to travel across the Pacific to Tahiti to witness the transit of Venus, just as many of you did. He wrote this in his diary about the event, using some interesting spelling.
This day proved as favourable to our purpose as we could wish. Not a cloud was to be seen the whole day, and the air was perfectly clear, so that we had every advantage we could desire in observing the whole of the passage of the planet Venus over the Sun's disk.
The reason the transit of Venus was worth such a big trip is because the scientists and astronomers at the time thought that by taking measurements as the transit happened, they could possibly work out the distance between the Earth and the Sun.
Right, carry the 2.
But that wasn't the only mission on Captain Cook's mind. He also had a secret mission no one knew about, to search for land. After the transit, Cook sailed here to New Zealand. Although I'm sure it looked very different back then.
This particular place is popularly known as Cook's Cove, but for us, the name is Opotama.
Wayne is a descendant of the people that met him on that day.
The story that resonates with the people here is that it was probably the first positive, constructive meeting of two different peoples in this country.
But while it was constructive, Wayne can't forget that Cook's mission was to claim land for England.
There are mixed feelings. I think more than anything, we Māori and non-Māori, we've come to a point of acknowledging that we have a dual heritage and therefore we have a shared future.
And at the local school, they're not just learning about the transit.
The next thing we need to do is what? Water them.
They're also learning all about the events that inspired it. When they landed, Captain Cook and his crew took plant samples back to England. Some of those plants still exist over there.
Cover, we need to look this way. This is a big moment now. The honour of opening it.
The kids wrote to England asking for some of those plant seeds to be sent back home so they could replant them. After visiting here, Captain Cook sailed on to the west, hoping to find the Great South Land people had talked about. And that's exactly what he did, finally landing in Botany Bay in a story most of you would be familiar with.
During our stay in this harbour, I caused the English colours to be displayed ashore every day, and an inscription to be cut out upon the trees near the watering place.
And as they say, the rest is history. And all of that because of the transit of Venus. That really is an astronomical sight with great importance.